Hey everyone. For over a century now, the name Albert Einstein has been synonymous with genius. Every grade school student knows his name, and millions of aspiring scientists study his theories, hoping to discover a flicker of his brilliance in themselves. Today, let's know about Albert Einstein and his relationship with science and love. Let's start the video. But before that, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Einstein is credited with presenting 7 theories that literally changed our understanding of the universe. While few laymen can explain these theories in terms the average person can understand, most people do know that it was Einstein's E=mc² formula that made the atomic bomb possible. But what many do not know is that to his dying day, Einstein regretted making that discovery. He referred to it as the one great mistake in my life. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879 in Ulm, Kingdom of Württemberg, Germany, to Hermann and Pauline Einstein. While some biographies refer to Albert as a middle child, most accounts list only one sibling, a sister Maria, born on November 18, 1881. Einstein's mother, Pauline, is said to have been a domineering woman who instilled in her son the drive to succeed, but also an appreciation for the arts. She even encouraged him to play the violin. Einstein's father, Hermann, was an engineer and businessman. He is described as otherworldly, even dreamy, which likely inspired Einstein to always look beyond the obvious. Einstein was described as a self-sufficient and thoughtful boy. He spent long hours building houses from playing cards and solving complex mathematical puzzles. The young Einstein particularly enjoyed spending time with his uncle Jacob, who was an engineer in business with his father. He sparked his interest in mathematics by lending him a book on algebra and sending him maths puzzles to solve. According to most biographers, Einstein first became interested in science at age 5. It was when his father showed him a magnetic compass and he became fascinated by the way it continually points in the same direction no matter which way it is held. Having taken a particularly long time to solve basic mathematical problems, his teachers initially thought him slow. They did not realize that Einstein wasn't trying to simply solve the problems, but trying to discover better ways of solving them. In 1889, at age 10, Einstein was accepted into the Luitpold Gymnasium in Munich. This was a highly respected institution that emphasized Latin and Greek over mathematics and science. Einstein was unhappy with the curriculum. Therefore, he turned his attention to independent study. In the summer of 1895, at age 16, Einstein sat but failed the entrance exam into the Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich, Switzerland. While lodging with the family of Professor Jost Wendler, Einstein began the first of many sexual relationships with Wendler's daughter Mary. At this time, a bright and articulate graduate student named Mileva Merrick was also enrolled there. Instantly attracted, Einstein and Merrick quickly became inseparable. They kept separate apartments for appearances while pursuing an intense sexual relationship. Calling themselves Johnny and Dolly, Einstein was so enamored with Dolly that he frequently wrote her love letters and poems. But neither the Einstein nor Merrick family thought the relationship prudent considering their ethnic differences. Einstein's mother was horrified that her son would even consider marrying an ethnically inferior Serbian woman. In 1901, Merrick announced that she was pregnant. Her pregnancy immediately put Einstein's professional and social standing in jeopardy. Having a child out of wedlock carried a severe social stigma. It could ruin any chances for the career he had envisioned. That same year, Einstein began his doctorate studies at the University of Zurich to meet the requirements for his PhD. In early 1902, Mary gave birth to their illegitimate child. They had a daughter named Liesel. Some insist she was adopted. some that she died of scarlet fever at any early age. In June of 1902, Einstein was appointed technical expert third class at the Swiss Patents Office in Bern, Switzerland. Although he worked 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, the schedule allowed him sufficient time to work on his scientific theories, and it gave him the financial security to support a family. In January of 1903, the 24-year-old Albert Einstein married 28-year-old Mileva Merrick. In May of 1904, the couple's first son, Hans Albert Einstein, was born. Almost immediately, Einstein not only began ignoring his parental duties, he began distancing himself from his wife. In less than a year, their relationship was virtually non-existent. Preferring the solitude of his office, he sometimes didn't come home for days. By 1908, Einstein was recognized as one of the world's greatest scientists by the scientific community. The following year, he quit his position at the patent office to become a professor at the University of Zurich. 2 years later, he became a professor at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic. In 1912, Einstein began an affair with his cousin Elsa Lowenthal. 3 years his senior, Lowenthal was a wealthy divorcee with 2 daughters. In a letter to her, Einstein wrote, "I would be so happy to walk just a few steps at your side without my wife, who is very jealous. I treat her as an employee whom I cannot sack." Soon after, Einstein gave Mileva a list of conditions she must meet to remain married. She was to speak to him only when he spoke first. When told to leave his study, she was to do so without hesitation. He made it clear that he would not compromise. When World War I broke out in July of 1914, Einstein initiated a petition seeking peace. However, he only received 3 signatures. Growing hopeless, he reached a point of physical and mental exhaustion. In 1916, Einstein collapsed, left alone but for his cousin Elsa Lowenthal. Content to put her life on hold to nurse him back to life, the bond between them intensified. Einstein planned to sever ties with Mileva and their children and make Elsa a permanent part of his life. On June 12, 1918, Einstein and Mileva divorced. 1 year later, Einstein married his cousin Elsa Lowenthal. Unlike his first wife, Elsa was willing to put her personal needs second to those of Einstein and his work. She was happy preparing dinner parties for his friends. She disappeared into the background when necessary. She ignored Einstein's many sexual dalliances. In 1919, Einstein's theory of relativity was proven correct, and by a relatively rare natural occurrence, a solar eclipse. Now, at age 40, Einstein was an instant celebrity. He was the scientific community's first superstar. Overnight, he became one of the most recognized individuals on the planet. While Elsa thoroughly enjoyed the attention, Albert found the adulation perverse. The press camped outside his door waiting for a glimpse or a quick photo, a clever quip or quote from the next edition. By 1932, Hitler was quickly becoming Germany's supreme dictator, which meant no Jew was safe. Particularly not one who'd sought to undermine Germany's efforts to take a major step forward on the world stage. Referred to by his countrymen as Einstein the Jew, the Nazi Party depicted him as a traitor to both his people and the German Empire. They ultimately placed a bounty on his head. In the fall of 1935, Elsa fell seriously ill. Uncharacteristically, Einstein set his personal affairs aside and tended to her needs. On December 20, 1936, at the age of 60, Elsa died after almost 17 years of marriage. He returned to his work immediately after Elsa's death. Europe was on the verge of a Second World War and Hitler was in ultimate power. Einstein reasoned that if the Germans built an atomic bomb before the Americans, Hitler would be in a position to give the US the ultimatum of accepting his rule or be wiped out of existence. On August 2, 1939, Einstein co-signed a letter to US President Theodore Roosevelt. The following year, Einstein was granted American citizenship. In August of 1945, the US dropped 2 bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It obliterated more than 200,000 people. Horrified by the destruction his scientific theory had enabled, Einstein used his celebrity to campaign against the future use of weapons of mass destruction. By 1948, Einstein's overall health was failing. Plagued by chronic stomach pain and anemia, doctors discovered an aneurysm in his abdominal aorta. In mid-April of that year, Albert Einstein collapsed. The aneurysm burst. On April 18, 1955, he died at Princeton Hospital at the age of 76. To his dying day, Einstein agonized over the theory he had hoped would change the world for the better, but instead threatened its very existence. Well, that's it for today. I hope you're liking Nerdies discoveries. Can't wait for the next video to learn more and be fascinated about. See you on the next. Bye.